All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. So we are going to take a look at MVIS, MULN, and MVST. All right, it's interesting because MVIS and MULN have kind of an interesting and really similar chart. All right. I'm actually not the biggest fan of this, all right? And look, I never talk about patterns. I know some people call this a wedge and stuff like that. Like, I have absolutely no idea what any of that is, you know what I mean? But what I do see and what we'll talk about really is, man, that 20 moving average. It's wanted to break it, but couldn't. It looked like it was going to go there, couldn't. Looked like it was going to do it, couldn't. And I mean, it's all about this orange moving line for me right here. MULN, look, I'll be honest with you, MULN did better than I expected on my last video. I talked about some like after hours noise, and yeah, it actually didn't do as badly as I expected. So I'm at least gonna for sure call myself out on that. All right, I am a little bit louder on my mistakes than my wins. Okay. And then look, MVST, I liked it on the last video. I still like it now. And yeah, that's one I'm watching and excited about. So really looking forward to talking about these three. But again, if you're new, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily, take a look at the daily and the weekly, there we go, to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, excuse me, shit. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this thing on the internet, comment good or bad. Look, if you disagree with anything, I'm not here to hate on you, I swear, okay? But anything you can do really does help me out. Otherwise, I swear, just being here and giving me your time is super, super appreciated, all right? So look, let's get into it. And again, really, I think the whole story's been here. Don't get me wrong. Like, this was a beautiful up. But now at this point, it kind of seems like this run is a little bit in the past, right? I think a lot of us, I'll be honest, even me in a lot of ways, I think a lot of us were expecting a bigger recovery here. I think losing the 20 right here was a little bit of a surprise. I think being unable to just break it right here is a little disappointing. Being unable to break it right here is a little disappointing, especially kind of the little wick fake outs that we see, right? So I am really kind of ignoring this, and this is essentially the story here. And look, I say this often, all right? Doesn't matter what the stock is, what the industry is. Breaking a single one of these lines is not an easy thing to do, all right? When you try to and have to break 2 at the same time, it's that much harder. When you got to break 3, which is what we got here, the red one, the green one, the orange one, right? The 8, the 20, and the 50. When you are trying to break 3 at once, it becomes really hard. And what ends up actually happening is you kind of do this like little oscillation thing where you like go up and like kind of start going around a line, right? And what looked like was a good 50 moving average, a red light, we bounced, we're now slipping. And yeah, I see it. We've slipped before and recovered. We must recover, sorry, not slip. We must recover. For real, this thing has to close at 425 on Monday. If this doesn't close at 425 on Monday, honestly, it seems like $4 is probably going to be the thing, if not even actually a little bit lower at like 390 something. All right. I am really worried that, and truth be told, these indicators aren't making me feel like we're going to go up. This is actually in the negative. It's not very negative, but it's negative enough. All right. This is a green line that seemingly is about to slip under. And look, actually, you see red over green here and what looks like about to be red over green here. And man, more than anything, volume's just been pathetic. My wife's cooking something and it looks like it set off the fire alarm. Hopefully that's not too annoying in the background. Real life, people. I don't know how to edit. It happens. But again, I think the fire alarms in my house are kind of representative of what's happening in MVIS, to use this as a little bit of a laugh point. But yeah, I'm worried. I'm actually worried we're about to lose 4. And truth be told, all right, this is a decent horizontal, but in a lot of ways, we've actually kind of been already living at the top of it. I think the fact that we've been living at the top of it so long, we're not going to hold the middle. And I said it on a couple of videos. I think we're coming down here. I think more and more it seems realistic that we're going to come down here than go up here. So Yeah, I've said it on a couple videos. I did not believe we were going to break the 20. I really didn't. And man, you see it here. And look, yes, this physically was over the line, right? I can click it. Like, let's just look right here. The average 20 was at 436. We closed at 445, that green number on top, right? So yes, physically, we were 9 cents over it. This day as well, yes, physically, we were over it. We closed at 438. The average was at 426. We were 12 cents over. We're actually a couple cents higher on it. No, this is a bad candle. This is a bad candle. Neither of these in my book makes me believe we've actually broken. Getting over a line and breaking a line are actually two really different things. And I hope that makes sense to you, right? So again, I really think we lose 4, then we come up to 440, just really based on what it looks. And I kind of have to still hold these numbers. I think we're coming into the three teens to 320s, give or take. You know what I mean? So let's see what the weekly looks like. Again, look, what was I talking about in the beginning? It's hard to break 3 lines. It really is. And it's sad that we've actually lost the 3 lines as quickly as we did. Don't get me wrong. This is weeks and weeks and weeks. It's actually a little bit more than a month, right? We're now in the 5th week of losing it. But yeah, we lost these 3 lines relatively quickly. And again, this is at least saying, hey, 330s, all right? Maybe 328 is the lowest it actually should go. But again, I think we're still going a little bit lower. Hopefully, actually, we don't go this much lower. What is your 50%? It's basically the 3s that's on the other side. So yeah, hopefully this holds. So, hey, before I move to the next stock, look, you know I enjoy being a little bit silly, all right? I'm not here pretending to be like this serious stock guru, blah, 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 right? Here is a question for the team. How do you pronounce this 4-letter stock here, all right? Do you say it like I do, MVIS, or do you say it MVIS, all right? And I know, again, it's a silly question. It has nothing to do with the price or anything, but I would like us to kind of say it the same way. So please let me know your thoughts. For the record, I showed my wife the 4 letters, MVIS. I asked her, how would you pronounce this word? She actually said MVIS. Now, I don't know if she's like heard me do these videos because, again, I cover MVIS a bit and I obviously say MVIS, but I'm real happy to go MVIS if that's what the team wants. So, again, I'm not here to be silly. We're having fun. Hopefully we're making money. Life is good over here on this side of the screen. You know what I mean? So I'm really curious to hear what the team thinks. Okay, let's come into MULN, all right? So the first thing I want to talk about is this day right here, is the 13th, all right? So if you watched my last video, it was the morning before. So it was Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. And Wednesday night going into Thursday morning actually started to run pretty hard. There was roughly a 10% gain after hours. And, you know, I actually expected it to come down. And it's funny because you can see it wick down all the way to the 14 line that I have to believe would have been my guess on that last video. I don't really go back to my videos and double check them. You know what I mean? I'm not here to like, haha, you see what I said, kind of silly stuff, right? But yeah, I expected the after hours to be a fake out and for it to do something like this where it opens up here. You can see in the box over there, it opens at 0.28, but then it drops down here. I expected this to open at 16 or whatever that final number was, and actually close at 14. That is what I expected. Instead, it actually came back up and held it pretty well. I honestly, I was surprised by that, all right? And I got really interested in Friday because of that, okay? And, you know, end of the day, end of Friday close, man, we still could not get over the 20 moving average, all right? The last few videos, I covered like 4 days in a row. Then I think that Wednesday was probably my last one, right? But maybe 3 days, 4 days in a row, whatever it was. Nonetheless, the story of every video and the same one here is, look, nothing's gonna happen on this stock until it can get over that orange line. Dude, the orange line is such a pesky line. All right, and let me just zoom out a bit, all right? The split happened here, but let's even go further back, all right? Let's even keep going. Let's come to here, all right? Now, it's a little bit hard to see at times because it's zoomed out, but again, this orange line, under it, 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 a little bit over it. Under it, under it, under it, under it, under it, a little bit over it, under it, under it, under it. You get the point. There are only a couple little moments that were under it, and then, I mean, especially recently, especially since right here, the last real green candle over it, from February onward, you can see it. We have basically never been over that line. There are days that open above it but close under it, open above it but close under it, open above it but close on, open above, open above, open. None of them close. This is a pesky orange line, and again, well before the split, well after the split as well. All right. Again, why do I keep saying on all my posts, if you're following my posts, hey, if I can get over this, I'm in. This is my money line. This is my money line. What does that mean? All right. Look, this 26 is over the last green candle, and then red, 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 and then some green candles right here, okay? What makes me a little disappointed is now this 50 moving average is coming down, right? At one point, it was up here, over it. Over all the reds, like, you know, that was a fantastic channel. My expectations have to adjust, and look, again, it's still a good trade, but I think the limit is now right here. I don't think we're gonna get over 64 cents. Now, I would love to go from 26 to roughly 65, right? I'm adding 40 cents there. I mean, that's a huge double-digit move if it hits. This is still my money line, but my target's no longer the 74. It's no longer that 3x that could have happened if this moved up earlier. We're now kind of looking at a little bit more than a 2x. Still fantastic, right? Still super, super fantastic, but we have to close over this. And again, this is still a very, very, very distant dream as long as we're under the 20 moving average. I know it seems like, dude, we're only 10 cents away. These numbers are close. Man, these numbers are islands apart because of this orange line, all right? It's been a very, very big problem since August of 2001. It's been a real extreme problem since February of this year. How can you listen to both of those words and expect this thing to break this thing and run all the way to the next one? Because again, let's just even look at the red line. It's been under the red line even less times. You know what I mean? Like, this is only a little bit. This at least had all that, but like this red one's been that much more difficult than the orange one, just again as an average overall across that same period, right? So just keep things realistic. Again, I know it seems low, I know it does, but man, things can still go bad if they want to go bad. And yeah, this is going to be a really hard number to break as well. In a lot of ways, the weekly is kind of saying, you know what, you're actually not going to get over 36 cents. That's going to be a little bit harder to get. And that makes that 26 juice number that much worse, right? So man, it's just this mullen trade is starting to get a little less enjoyable or a little less, appealing in my head. But yeah, I mean, arguably, I guess this could kind of be an interesting money line. Maybe this one. How close are you to 18? I think you can. Man, it's just, I'll be honest with you, as I'm saying the words, like, I just don't know how juicy it is. But I guess, look, you can make the argument that 18 cents is a reasonable place to enter. All right, and it would be hard for me to disagree. All right, because 18 cents would put you over the 20 and like on the cusp of that 8, right? Again, I wish I had more decimals, but truly, I think maybe 19 would be a little safer because that's half of this, half of this. This is still the line that's the juiciest, is 26. You know what I mean? Close over 26. I know I just said that on the weekly, it makes it look like it's only going to run at 36. Dude, even 10 cents on that 26 to 36 is still a double-digit fatty, you know what I mean? So again, just kind of talking the trade out loud as I'm looking at it, I really wish it made the run here. It's just very disappointing that it didn't, and you can see it's only been a few days, but it really tightened up what could have been a hard 3x trade, right? So mullen, a bit disappointed. At the end of the day, look, where are we? We're under the 8 and the 20, and if you watch my videos, and I've been saying it a couple times, under the 8 and 20 is bad. All right, we're close, but yeah, we're under. We've been under for 3 days. We're just looking for a real confirmation up or down, I think, at this point with mullen. So I think overall the moral is at least wait or be careful. I think that is the the real way of looking at this. So, oh man, MVST. Okay, listen to me here, all right? I'm gonna say this really quickly because I swear this is the truth, and I'm gonna talk about it on Vroom, and you know, I'm gonna give you first the like professional technical answer, right? Like, and I say that, hopefully you heard the jokingness in that tone, right? And I'm gonna give you my very real personal answer, all right? So look, technically speaking, it's okay as long as you're over the 8 moving average. All right. And no one wants to eat an almost 13% loss. The day oh, I thought that was a bigger loss. But yeah, no one wants a double-digit loss on a single day. That's horrible. All right. No one wants to lose one of my horizontal lines or whatever your horizontal line was, right? You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. But these moving averages, like, these are what I live and die by. And yeah, it just, it's you when you go really high up from it, the problem is coming really far down. It just is what it is. Hopefully the 8 can catch up to it. Hopefully the distance between the gap is manageable, not this 13 burger loss, right? Okay, we're still above it, all right? And hopefully, and now we're gonna come down here a bit. Look at these numbers. RSI 84, RSI 83, RSI 78. Like, those are high numbers, all right? It needs to come down and cool, all right? It might come down to the 30s. It actually might. It might, and hopefully will kind of stay here in the 50s, right? It's been here, it's been here. I'm glad at least 30 is kind of the lowest in that immediate window, right? As I zoom out, just kind of going kind of worst case, it's low 20s at the worst, right? But look, I would be a little bit afraid if we lose the 8, because the 8 sitting up here at 220, and then that fall right there would be pretty bad, right? Again, though, 8 and the 20 are your friends when you're friends. And look, if you can hold them, they're good. I think I would be afraid right here. I think this is my oh my kind of number. You know what I mean? Maybe set the, if you know, I'm not here to generally give people stop losses, right? Because again, I don't know what you're like, if you're trying to stay or go, but like I'd maybe stop loss around here, 214, 213, 214, give or take. But yeah, it would be a hard fall to come here. But again, stocks can do that. They hopefully bounce on the 20 and go. Maybe they come back to the 20 and then go back up, right? And again, with this RSI cooling off, because again, it was really high and it was days and days in the 80s and the high 70s, right? So a cool down's expected. The problem just is the spacing between the lines isn't your friend, all right? And one more time, I'll be honest, this right here would probably make me sell a bit. Overall, Fridays I always expect to be a losing day, but yeah, when I say that, I'm kind of assuming like a 4%, 5% losing day, not a 12, almost 13, right? So, and then Vroom, when I talk about that one was almost worse at times. I think was at like near, and then, Jesus, like let's just look at this one. This one was also like a near 20 at some point too. Luckily came back up into the teens, right? But end of the day, you don't want to make rash decisions based on one day. It's why I always say wait for confirmation. Wait for confirmation. What's going to happen on Monday? Are we going to hold this line and go? Are we going to lose this line and come down? And again, the problem between here and here, green, red. Like it really could come down here. And that's a hard drop. That's almost a 20% drop, right? Actually a little bit more, because you're going to get rid of 20 cents. That's going to take you to 210. You're going to lose another 20 cents. That's actually going to take you to the 290 range, a little bit higher than this. Yeah, basically 290. Yeah, you're basically talking about a 20% loss. That sucks, right? Or, hey, maybe you're going to average up, right? Like you can maybe use this as an average point if it bounces up, or hey, maybe it actually does come this low or around here, right? Average up, or hey, even just here, that 213, 214 number, I get average up, right? Like you can do what you want to do based on this, but end of the day, we're over moving averages. We're still over the 8. We're still over the 20. We're still positive MACD. Volume is still actually over the 50 moving average. We had a high RSI that needed to cool. Like it is what it is, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, in my head, it is what it is. This is a good weekly chart. That's good. That's not bad confirmation. I wish it was a little better, actually. I think I wish we got over this, right? Because I say that because we broke 2 lines. If you're going to break two lines, I actually do expect a little more. It wanted to do that, expect a little more. It just actually kind of didn't. This still looks good, is in the positive. This still looks good, is healthy. That's great kind of incline, right? I need to see where Friday closes, and hopefully it closes a little closer to 290-ish. And that's a nice little healthy move from where we sit now, right? So I still like the weekly, and I think the daily is nothing more than just a cool down. I actually don't think it's going to go lower than 215. I think it'll come to that, maybe 2, and then hopefully bounce up and go from there. That's, I think, if I'm going to give a target, I would say that. But hey, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, as always, thank you.